Start playing here.
Welcome to Partnerships for Profit, the podcast where we bring you inside the world of joint ventures, strategic partnerships, and powerful collaborations. Each episode, you'll dive into conversations with top entrepreneurs, visionaries, and business leaders, unlocking the secrets to building profitable relationships that drive growth and success. Whether you're looking to expand your network, find new referral partners, or scale your business, you're in the right place. Let's get started.
Yes, let's get started indeed. Welcome to another episode of Partnership for Profits. I'm hosting this afternoon. I don't know what time it is where you're watching this. I'm Will Brooks, and we have another Brooks with us here today. It's dueling Brookses here today. We got Brooks Manley on with us today. He is a web designer and SEO strategist based out of New Orleans, our backyard. And we're going to talk today about SEO and strategy and all that good stuff. Brooks, tell me a little bit about you, your company, what you guys got going on before we dive in too deep here.
Yeah, man. So company is a small web design and SEO agency, like you said. We've been in business for about 5 years in the New Orleans area. I'm from Greenville, South Carolina originally. So when I first started, a handful of my clients are in Greenville. The rest are in the greater New Orleans area. I specialize in web design and search engine optimization. Most of my clients are small businesses, local businesses serving a local clientele. I've got a handful that are more national, but yeah, most are small and local, and that's my heart, is to help small businesses grow.
Right on, man. Love to hear that. We work with a lot of small business owners as well, small to medium-sized business owners. So totally get that. Love those folks because they're so focused on growth.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to help people do, right?
Yeah.
So Greenville to New Orleans. What made you leave Greenville and come to New Orleans?
My wife. We I grew up in Greenville. My wife and I met and dated long distance, and then she moved from New Orleans up, and then about a year in, dragged me down here. And by dragged, I mean I love it here, and I'm happy to be here.
Greenville's nice too, though, man. I love Greenville. I've been up there several times. It's a beautiful city. So
yeah, Greenville is great. I miss it a lot.
Cool. Well, let's talk a little bit about SEO and small businesses, websites. Like you said, we both work with small businesses. What's the biggest mistake you see small businesses making with their websites when you dive in, when someone's looking for help?
Biggest mistakes, I think, probably two things that come to my mind. The first is not being personable and having a website that looks kind of stale, doesn't really showcase any personality, doesn't showcase a team, no faces. I think at least speaking for myself and people that I know, when you're working with a small business, especially if it's like a home service or a lawyer in y'all's case, like you're going to be working closely with this person, or if it's a home service, they're going to be people coming to your house, right? Most people want to know who those people are, what they look like. Is this company trustworthy? And so I think a lot of this is to settle for just like a good looking and decent, but a website that just doesn't showcase themselves. And I think they unknowingly miss out on a lot of business because of it.
So faces, is that kind of where you're getting at? Faces are important when you see who it is that we're working with.
I think it's like, yeah, definitely faces. And I know these, like, sometimes they're lame, but like just a little bit of bio, like who is this business? Where are these people from? What's their background? Yeah. And then on top of that, your message, like, you don't need to spend $1 million on like a branding, messaging, dial-in. I think those are helpful, but just having like a headline that sounds a little different. I'm in the SEO space, but like nobody wants to land on a website and the heading is like plumber in New Orleans. That might help you rank better, but like that convinces me that you are a better fit than your competitor zero. So yeah, like personability, I think, is probably number one, and then a close second is just not using your website. If you just build it, they will not come. You're like, people are not just browsing the internet trying to find local business websites.
Yeah. that's something I wanted to kind of get into, as like we're always talking about rebranding our website. Oh, we got to update the website. We got to change this. We got to change that. And I me personally, and we've talked about this in our business, when I'm looking for a vendor that maybe I want to work with, maybe I want to, maybe I need a new roof on my house, or maybe, or whatever it might be, whether it's service related or not. I'm not necessarily looking at like website. I'm looking at social media a lot more, I think, than I am at website stuff. What, how much importance does social media have for like SEO optimization? What's the, like, do they go hand in hand, or is a website more important? Is it more important to rank higher on Google from your website, or what's the thinking there?
Yeah, I think I'm going to give you a convoluted answer. Social media is important and plays a role in how you rank to some degree. There's probably a plateau or like a cap at some point.
Right.
Seeing that people are engaged on your social media profiles, Google seeing that people are going from your social media profile to your website, those are like good signals for ranking. But like outside of SEO, yeah, I think having like, it doesn't have to be a super professional presence. I know that's better than us, ugly, shabby social media presence, but just being active and allowing people to see you, I think helps convert, right?
Yeah.
I think very few people these days, if you're looking for a roofer, Google roofing near me and just call the first one. Some people probably still do that, but there's probably at least a little bit of like, yeah, let me poke around a little bit. Let me check out their socials.
For sure.
And I, like me personally, like I don't care if the local roofing company has 1 billion followers, but like, is somebody's
Yeah.
face on there? Does this look
Yeah.
like somebody I want at my house for hours?
Follower count's not as important to me if I'm looking for something like that. What's more important to me is to see that they do have that presence and that they're active on it, and like, oh, this is a real company that's really engaged with the community, maybe, or they're talking about things that my local area. I can see this it legitimizes things, I guess, is really what it does. But yeah, I always wonder though if does like how many followers you have on Instagram or on TikTok or whatever, does that influence where you rank as far as SEO based stuff goes?
Yeah, I don't think we know for sure. There are a lot of theories floating around. There was a big leak of Google documents. I don't want to get in the weeds, but there's a leak of some Google documents.
No, get into the weeds. We hear about it.
It might have been a year ago, and it wasn't like this is our algorithm. It was a breakdown of a lot of things that they are capable of seeing. So like one of the big things that looked like it was a strong signal is like traffic that you get to your website via your social media platform. That helps Google to see like this is a real brand. Their website doesn't exist solely for SEO. Like having a social media presence is probably the best legitimizer, like you said, for humans and for Google, that you're a legitimate active business, because you can throw up a website and rank without being real,
Yeah, I mean, if you pay enough money, right, you can pop up high enough on the top.
Even if you aren't paying for ads, like you could spin up a website, no real people behind it, no business location, you don't even have an LLC, but you could, I mean, if you did SEO well enough, you could rank. And so I think Google knows that, but they know that one of the biggest things that make a company real is that they have a social media account that's active. And so if people are looking and engaging on social media and then bouncing to your website, that's a signal that I think they see that. So yeah, it matters. I don't know exactly how much it matters, but having an active presence definitely matters.
So it's like what you're talking about. It sounds like it's like Google's way of what's the capture you get where it's like click all the boxes that have a fire hydrant. Kind of the same deal.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, they're really on social media. This is a real business. We're going to pop them up higher on the rankings.
Yes. Yeah. Those things are the bane of my existence, but yes, you're right. Yeah. And they're trying to do all that they can do via the computer and the internet to gauge the legitimacy of a business, right? Like their algorithm cannot go to like the local coffee shop and ask around and say like, how is this local roofer? How, are they legitimate? Are they on time? All they can do is like use what they have access to on the internet. And so, yeah, social media is huge for that.
How important is video for SEO?
Similar answer. there's probably not like just having a video on your homepage. There's
Yeah,
probably
well,
no.
yeah, I mean like a
Yeah.
volume of
Oh
video.
yeah. I think on your website, video tends to help people stay on the site longer, and Google and search engines can kind of tell how long you stay on a website. They have access to a lot of that data at least.
Right?
So like engaging video on the website itself is helpful. Engaging video on social media helps your social media presence, your number of followers, the number of people that are interacting and bouncing back and forth between social media and your website. Like that's a good signal. Um, Same thing, YouTube, I would say falls into that same category of social media, like having an active profile that's putting out content regularly, and people are bouncing from that content to your website and back and forth. Like those are all very positive and good signals for Google.
It
Yeah.
all kind of stacks on top of each other is really what
It
it
all
sounds
kind of stuff. Yeah, it's all related. You can like rank really well and have a successful SEO without social media, without video, but they definitely help. And then they definitely help convert. They definitely help legitimize because you can rank
like.
all day for best roofer in New Orleans. If the person that ranks second has a great social media presence, videos that are engaging, an awesome website, like you're gonna miss out on business because of it, despite where you
100%.
rank. Yeah.
Right on. So talk to me about what's a big SEO myth that needs to go away in your mind.
I always answer that with I don't know if it's so much a myth as much as a misconception, but I talk to small business owners all the time, both leads and people who aren't interested in my services, who will say like, we did SEO, or like we turned SEO on our website. And then they'll say like it worked or it didn't work, or I don't know, but they look at it as if it's a black and white. I'm either doing it or I'm not doing it, in the same way that they might be running ads or not running ads. Where in reality, there's a huge spectrum between not doing anything and like doing absolutely everything you can to rank well for the keywords that make sense to rank well. And so yeah, huge spectrum. And simply like downloading a plugin on your website, or if you're on like a Wix or Squarespace, like checking the box like help me with my SEO, is probably not enough to help you beat out your competitors who are spending thousands of dollars a month on SEO, right? So that's probably the biggest misconception. And then similarly, another misconception is that, yeah, on that spectrum, not having a clue like what you should rank for, or checking to see if you are ranking well post doing SEO, right? So like if you're a roofer, your goal when it comes to SEO is to rank for like roofer near me, roofers in New Orleans. It's not rocket science. And so I'll talk to business owners, say like, yeah, we did SEO, and I'll say, what were the results like? Where are you ranking currently? And they'll be like, oh, I don't know. Or they'll say we rank number one, and what they really mean is when you type my name into Google, we come up number one.
Sure. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. All that said, not so much a myth, but a big misconception that you can be doing SEO while not really doing anything. I always try to think of an analogy. I think the best I've got is like working out or fitness or being healthy. Such a broad range between not doing anything at all and like having an optimal training and diet plan. And some people, it's like the equivalent of being like, yeah, I want to get healthy. I ask you what you're doing to get healthy. You say, I'm walking like once a week. And I'm like, all right, well, are you seeing results? Like, I don't really know. Or sometimes it'll be like, no. And so I'm never doing SEO again. And so that's my answer. There's a big misconception around what SEO is.
Got it. So kind of in that same vein of what you're talking about with your analogy with regards to like, exercise with SEO and your business, what's the realistic time frame for SEO to kind of for you to see results if you start focusing on SEO, start working with somebody like you?
Yeah.
What, like, is it a fast thing, or is it like over the next 90 days you're going to start seeing results, over the next 6 months? Like what does that look like?
Yeah, that's a good question. There's not a direct great blanket answer. I think the biggest thing it probably depends on these days is whether or not you have a brand new website and a brand new business versus a scenario where you've had a website for years, you've been in business for years. If that's the case, you've had a website for a long time, you've been in business, you have a Google business profile that's getting some reviews occasionally, And whether you've intended to or not, like you've created a foundation for SEO just by existing on the internet, maybe getting covered in local press occasionally, having a listing on Yelp, like all of that gives you a really solid base for SEO. And so if that's your case, and then you start investing in SEO, man, you could rank for valuable keywords in weeks.
Okay.
On the other end of the spectrum, you have a brand new business, brand new website. 5 or 6 years ago, I would tell you, like, give me like 6 months. These days, brand new business, brand new website in a somewhat competitive industry, it can be 18 months before you're really able to break in, because you've got to think about it. The SEO is really, it's a competition game. You're trying to beat out your competitors. And if your competitors have been in business for 10 years, spending $10,000 a year on SEO for 10 years,
Yeah.
yeah, you're not gonna just, unless you work with somebody who's really, really, really good at what they do. Even if you do, you're not catching up in 6 months to somebody who's invested that kind of time and effort and energy for years.
So if you got a new business that's come to you, guy who's got a startup business, and he comes to you and you lay that out for him, I'm imagining that's what you do is like, hey, this is a long game.
Yeah.
What's the reaction when you're like, yeah, this could be a year and a half before you're really gonna see those results? How does that turn people off? Are they like, oh my God, I can't.
Yeah.
So how do you overcome that? What's
Yeah.
the strategy for kind of getting them past that?
Yeah. For starters, like these days, between Google trusting new businesses and websites a little less, and the competition that you have, so many people are starting businesses these days.
Mm-hmm.
There are like exponentially more businesses today than there were 10, 15 years ago.
For sure.
So yes, it is a turnoff to say like, hey, you need to spend between $500 and $2,000 monthly for 2 years, and then maybe you'll see results, right? Like nobody's saying yes to that. So a few things I'll do, like we can start with ads, because with whether it's Google ads or Facebook ads, Instagram ads, the moment you turn them on, you show up to people. So you can start generating leads in business immediately. So for most clients, we'll start with some advertising to supplement, to get lead flow in the meantime. And in some cases, I'll say, hey, SEO is just probably never going to be a good investment for you, right? Like you are probably never going to get, especially in really competitive spaces that
Like
are nationwide.
you're 10 years too late, basically.
You are probably 10 years too late. I'm trying to think. I had a client come to me with like a supplement brand recently, like protein powder, and I was like, you are never going to outrank Amazon, bodybuilder.com, weight, like,
GNC,
yeah,
whatever it
GNC,
is.
like you are never. It doesn't matter how much you pay me, and for how long. So SEO is just probably not a good fit. That's what I'll say. Sometimes we'll do the ads first and then let SEO ramp up. That's a common answer. And then for a lot of people lately, I've been offering them like a kind of pay per performance or pay like revenue share, just because it's risky. It's risky to start from scratch. And yeah, me tell you, we may be ranked in 18 months. And so to help people out, I'll do like a combination of like a really, really low flat rate plus a share of the revenue that you get once we do get ranked.
That's cool. So you're kind
Yeah.
of getting a little buy-in into their business yourself.
Yeah, which I think is good for me too, because
Little
it
KV, yeah.
it allows me to look at it objectively and say, can I really help this person rank and get them results? If so, like I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is, and if not, I probably shouldn't. They're probably not a good fit.
So what do you look for when you're looking at somebody you might kind of do a joint venture with? What are some of the things that you're looking for that?
It's like a bit like ability to rank. Do I really believe that I can get them ranked? And then and this is not just for them, but for any of my clients. If they do get ranked for the keywords that we feel like are valuable to them, do we, both of us, really believe that it's going to drive business for them? Because in some industries, it's a no-brainer. If you rank number 1 for roofers in New Orleans, your phone is going to ring every day, probably.
For sure.
Some industries, it's a little different. Like for example, I have a client that's become a good friend that does franchise coaching. So he helps people who are considering buying franchises explore their options and come to a final decision. And then he helps them with the transaction as well. And we started working together, and I was like, I don't know if I know some people are searching for this. but I have no background, no data. It's a new enough industry that I can't tell you. I don't even have anecdotal evidence that like people are Googling this and then they're calling and then they're actually working with these people. So it was a long game. We did a revenue share thing. They ranked well, and yeah, he gets a good bit of business from it via SEO, and we share revenue when he gets deals.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. So you haven't, it sounds like you haven't like necessarily like niched down as far as, or
No,
maybe as far as who you work, you'll work with anybody.
I work with anybody. I know I'd like to though. It's like the number one. Listen to any like digital marketing agency podcast. I'm sure you guys know this. Y'all niche down. It's like you gotta narrow.
Yeah, man.
Um, for a few reasons I haven't wanted to. One of the biggest is I wonder if I will get bored. Like if I were to only work with roofers every day for the rest of my
Yeah.
life, will it be like boring work for me? But at the end of the day, I feel like I'm less concerned about how excited I am and more interested in like, can I, like, if I niche down, can I better help my clients because I'm more familiar from client to client. I'm not having to relearn
Yeah,
how
man.
they get business every time.
I will tell you, we've been around for several years, and for a long time, we were working with all different kinds
Yeah.
of companies. We worked with a construction company, we worked with an oil and gas company, restaurants, a community theater was a client of ours. Like we were doing all kinds of stuff with all kinds of different businesses, and we still had a lot of legal clients. And it was, I think it was last November when we really finally made the decision. I sat down with Armando and we talked, and I was like, we speak this language. We have a lot of clients in this field. We've had success with those clients. There's a lot of lawyers out there nationwide. There's so many of them.
Yeah.
Why are we not just pivoting and let's just focus all of our efforts on that? And we made that decision. Like, we're going to do this in November. And it is a game changer, man. Like, total
Sure.
game changer, because we would do the same thing like we were talking about when we'd have, we get a new client in. I do creative. I'm the creative director too for the business. So when we have a new client come in and we're going to create social media content for them, we're going to do a month's worth of content and come in batch created. I have to go and research and learn everything there is to know about offshore oil rigging.
Yeah.
The company we're working with, I don't know a damn thing about offshore
Yeah.
oil, but I got to find information about it. I got to learn it, and then I got to kind of create creative content that's connected to it. So we were reinventing the wheel every time we had a new client come in, and niching down. It's made us better for the existing clients that we had, and we're doing really good work for the new clients that we get in. And then it's, we're coming up on that kind of it'll be a year in November that we've kind of chosen that, and we have a footprint now in that niche where people know, oh yeah, Leduc Entertainment, they do podcasts and social media content for law firms.
Yeah.
So not telling you need to niche down, but
no. I'm
it
convinced.
was a game changer for us.
I believe it. I would like to. I'm convinced. I think the benefits way outweigh any cons that there are.
Yeah. The riches are in the niches. That's what they say,
That's
right?
That's what they say.
Yeah, man. So tell me, as far as like how many years did you say you guys you've had the business?
I've been in the industry for about 10. I started my business in 2021. So
Holy, like during the pandemic?
post pandemic, I moved and I was with.
Right at the end of the pandemic, though.
I
2021
guess
is.
you're right. April 2021 was like day one. So yeah, it was right at the end. But I was at an agency in South Carolina, and we just moved down here a little while prior, and I wasn't like they weren't losing clients left and right. A lot of people were still. I mean, a lot of people were investing more in digital marketing,
100%.
Knowing that like their billboards are probably less effective now.
Everybody's at home on their computer all day. Yeah.
Events, networking, like none of that is effective anymore. So I wasn't worried, and nor did I have any like huge roadblocks because of the pandemic. But yeah, it was. I guess I was a pandemic born business.
There's a lot of them. Well, what was the hardest part for you of growing your business and your SEO shop from scratch, like from the ground up? What was the biggest obstacle for you?
I mean, initially it was getting clients. Thankfully, I had a few like partnerships early on, like larger agencies who would send me referrals for people who couldn't afford their like big agency retainers. So that was huge. It was also hard just transitioning from working in an agency environment with friends and interacting with other people all day to just being by myself in my home, only talking to my family and clients. that was hard, and that still is hard. I'd like to grow a team at some point. Yeah, being lonely is tough. In like a tough work setting, being alone is tough.
Yeah, man. I work from home. And my whole team is in New Orleans and I'm in
Yeah,
Atlanta. So I feel you, dude. I get that. There are days where I'm just like, I'm gonna be in my office. I'm gonna be in my
all
office
day.
8 hours and I'm not gonna
Yeah,
see another human except for
yep,
on screen. Yeah. Yeah, it's tough, man. That's a tough that could be tough on the mental health for sure. I'm a
for
big
sure.
advocate of like the whole theory of touch grass. Like I got to get outside and like just go for a walk at the
Yeah,
very least, or like I'll just find a reason to go to the store just so like there's
yeah,
people that
yeah.
are around.
Oh yeah, dude. Sometimes at
Yeah.
lunch, I'll just go to the grocery store, buy
Yeah,
like one item to
but
to be around people.
just to have a human interaction, yeah,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Um,
I
uh,
love what I do, and I love helping businesses grow online. One day, I'd like to not like be behind my computer all day.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know what I'll do.
That's one of the things I love about what we do is that you know, we go to our clients and we shoot in person, we shoot video in
Yeah,
person
that's
with them.
cool.
So we get to kind of travel out where they are and go to them. And so that does kind of break things up. But yeah, that
Yeah.
day-to-day work from home grind is it's not for everybody, right? I think
No,
it's
it's really
a
not.
special person to be able to do that, man. So kudos to you for grinding.
You as
Uh
well, man.
yeah, yeah, that's what we do, right? So talk to me real quick about I had another SEO guy on the show last week, and he does like AI optimized SEO. Is that something that you're
Yeah.
working in? How is AI incorporating into SEO right now?
Yeah, I'm interested in what they thought and what they had to say. Probably the two biggest ways is that one, you have to start considering like so many people are searching less on your Googles and your Bings and your
Right,
Yahoos and asking questions to your Chat GPTs, Claudes, whatever AI, LLM you use. And so it's becoming a conversation of like how do we help our clients show up on those searches?
right,
And there are a lot of theories. Probably the best theory that is that the AI models are looking at pretty similar things that your search engines are looking at. So it's not like polar. It's not super different. But there are probably going to be some unique things that they're looking at more than your search engines are. Um, one that I know of has gotten a lot of talk recently is brand mentions. So not so much like a link from one site to another, but just like in Reddit in Quora, like this company is getting mentioned alongside whatever protein powder over and over again. Like an LLM will see that in a way that Google might not.
yeah. That's the guy I was talking to. It was actually 2 weeks ago that he was on, but he mentioned that certain LLMs are using certain like I think he mentioned that ChatGPT was looking at Reddit
Yep.
and LinkedIn, I think. And then
Yeah.
like Perplexity is looking at two different things. Like that they're looking at they're that's where they're looking. So yeah, they're all kind of choosing a different thing to kind of pull from.
Right.
But to me, that just is more evidence that you kind of have to try to get yourself everywhere
Everywhere.
on all of those
I
models.
I think more
Reddit.
than ever. There's a time where I would tell people like, yeah, you really just need SEO. And I think times are changing. Yeah, like you want to be omnipresent. I will say though, to AI, a lot of people are worried that AI is going to like even the Google AI overviews that you see at the top of your search result pages. People are worried that AI is going to steal their business. And if you're a website that just puts out informational content, like your New York Times, or you've got a website that just answers general questions, like
Mhm.
yeah, they're going to take a lot of your traffic. But if you're a local business, AI, all they can do is recommend local businesses, right? If you say I need a plumber nearby, until you can call Google and Google can send a robot and fix your toilet, like all they
That's
can do
coming.
is which may happen. Hey, may happen soon. I don't know. Yeah, I mean it probably already is, but uh, all they can do is recommend local businesses the same way that Google does.
Right.
And so that's what I tell my like small local business clients. If you're home services, even law, and somebody needs actual help from a human, AI is not like coming for your business, at least not yet.
Yeah, yeah. There's been some weird stuff that we've seen where people have tried to are trying to bring in AI into like legal briefs or into that kind of stuff, and judges catch it real
Yeah,
quick. And that's I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon on that end of things. So, yeah, just kind of curious what you thought about that, because I was the other guys, the guy I spoke with a couple weeks ago, I think they're kind of shifting their whole model to be more AI focused, just because it's here, right? It's not going.
Oh yeah, and they're probably not wrong for doing that, especially if you work with non-local businesses.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that they work with a few more national folks. So well, that's awesome, dude. So before we wrap up, I want you to share with me and with folks watching here, folks watching the recording. I want you to give me, I'm gonna put you on the spot, Brooks. I want you to give me one belief or mindset shift that's kind of changed how you run your business since you got it started.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I don't know if this is a belief. Definitely a mindset shift. When I first started, like I'm sure a lot of business owners do, sat down with my notepad and I started thinking through, like, I would love to grow the business to this amount of money by this year.
Right.
And so I started working backwards. Like, if I do that, I need this many clients paying me this amount of money, which is a fine exercise, a fine thing to do. I think a few years ago, I started to see so many people kind of recommending that approach to pricing, and really all of the business growth and agency growth advice I was seeing, it just felt very, very me focused. And it is a good thing to grow a business. It's a good thing to be profitable. But I think I've had a big mindset shift of, like, I want to offer a good product that gets my clients results at a fair price that makes sense for them. And that's what I want to do. And for them, they're paying me a fair price and getting a result in return. And whatever price that comes to, like, that's the rate that I'm going to grow my business. And so I guess I just had a mindset shift of, like, I genuinely want to help my clients grow. That's how I want to do business. That's how I would hope other people are doing business with me, right? I'm not just like a number on the quarterly sales goal spreadsheet. Like, you have a vested interest in me and I have a vested interest in you. So I think that mindset shift changed a lot for me in terms of, like, my growth goals and, how quickly I want to scale. That's another thing, is I've always assumed, like, I'm going to scale, I'm going to grow. I see a lot of agencies, they start to grow, they take on headcount, they have to buy an office, and then all of a sudden they're pricing out all of their original clients because they have to be able to pay their people. It's not a bad thing. But yeah, I'd love to go about things a little differently and, continue to serve these clients who can't pay $5,000 a month,
It's awesome, man.
$10,000 a month for marketing.
Yeah, I love that. So you're kind of focused on, you're not focused on like that end goal of a big number. You're focused on each individual person. That's great. That's
yeah.
what.
Sure, and of course I'd like to grow. Like I said, being
Well,
profitable
yes,
is a
of
good
course,
thing. Of
100%. But yeah, that's just refreshing to hear. That's awesome, man. Love to hear that. So, well, Brooks, man, thank you so much for popping on today. Let people know how they can find you. If they need help with their SEO, if they need help with web design, if they need help with ad buying, how do they find you? How do they get in touch with you?
Probably the easiest way, nolowebdesignseo.com, or you can search Brooks Manley Marketing into Google. You'll find me. I'm on and off active on social media. I'll go stretches where I'm posting a lot and then stretches where I'm not posting a lot. So you can follow me on social if you'd like. Lately, there won't be a lot to find there, but yeah, I'd love to chat. Google Brooks Manley Marketing. I've got a contact form on my website that's really easy to fill out.
Sweet. Well, do it, y'all. If you need SEO help in New Orleans or beyond, not necessarily just in New Orleans, but if you're in the New Orleans area and you got a small business and you're wanting to work on some growth areas, Brooks is your guy. So hit him up. Thanks again for popping on today, man. And thank you out there, everybody, for watching. If you're watching live, if you're watching the recording after the fact, we appreciate you checking things out. We've got more episodes coming every day almost. So pop back in and check us back out, and we will see you next time right here on Partnership for Profits. Take it easy, guys.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Partnerships for Profit. We hope you've gained valuable insights on how to form profitable partnerships and take your business to the next level. Be sure to subscribe and leave us a review wherever you listen to podcasts so you never miss an episode. Got a partnership story to share or someone you'd like to see featured on the show? Reach out to us. Until next time, keep building those partnerships for profit.